Hey everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do the monthly message for the month of August. This is being recorded on August the 1st, and we have a lot of energy that is taking place. I'm recording this while we are under a tornado watch here in the central parts of Alberta, and we have a lot of crazy weather that's happening, a lot of crazy weather patterns. And over the past few months, past few weeks, months, I've been talking a lot about floods and volcanoes and all of these things that I could feel rumbling through the earth. And of course they have been taking place. And my heart goes out to the people in Kentucky where there has been massive flooding and a lot of lives have been lost. And it's just devastating. And yeah, it's like, even though we can feel it in the energy, there's nothing we can do to stop Mother Earth from doing what, for Mother Earth or the universe, for all the things that happen out of our control. And it's so, it's just sending love and prayers. And I'm praying that, more and more people find their loved ones through all of this devastation. And then also there was the volcano in Japan that did happen. There's just when we feel the energy, we feel the Earth's energy, we feel the moving of the planets, we feel the energy of the human energy, and then the world outside of ourselves, like all the beings. Like we connect, when we have the ability to connect into all, we can feel it all. And being born that way, this has been my whole life, but not being able to associate it to where it belonged in my younger years. You just thought everything was all about you. And that was, part of the journey. And now I know to ask, and I ask where it belongs and what it is. And so I can see floodgates of water. I can see volcanoes. I can see these things happening. I don't always know exactly where they are. I just have like some ideas of where it feels like it is, or they give me a look of locations. But we still have a lot of those weather patterns. So I'm still picking up a lot of weather patterns. We are not out from a lot of big kind of eruptions and floodgates of water. And I also see like fire being added in here. So all of the elemental energy is kind of spinning on its axis. I just feel like there's like a little bit of everything that's happening. I am picking up some really torn between beliefs, energy as well. So bringing all of this into us and bringing it into where can we be the change? And the change is always in ourselves. And so we can be the change, and we make the changes within ourselves, and we be the best that we can be. That's just how it rolls. So as I'm trying to record this, I can feel my energy getting heavy. The energy is heavy here because there is a lot of storms going through. I can feel like that. I can feel that wind storms, those tunnels of wind. And even though the tornadoes haven't hit, we are in the warnings, which means that, I can feel the density. I can feel myself being pulled in, sucked in. My energy feels heavy. Like I'm just like, I can barely catch my breath, and it's dense. It's very dense. And so we do have a lot of that very dense energy that you may be feeling. You may be uncertain, unsure, not knowing which direction to go. And I see a lot of people, a lot of readers or astrologers reading the energy, and everybody reads it a little bit differently because ego is always somewhat involved when you're reading through astrology or reading through all of this, when you want to interpret it, right? So so knowing that have to move all ego aside is sometimes this feels very weird and wacky, because I would like to organize and I would like for it to come out a specific way, but it doesn't. It comes out as it's given, because I can't get involved, and I never edit these. These are unedited. They always come out unedited. That's why they feel like they may be sloppy, or the recordings may not always be great, but the messages are the messages. And the minute you edit the messages, you interfere in the messages. So we can't interfere in the messages. So what this dense energy feels like for me is there is a lot of interference and a lot of wanting to try to make things right, or trying to perfect things, or trying to, trying to play this God energy. Whereas God consciousness is just saying we have a lot that is playing out, and a lot has to play itself out, and entering in through that we are now directly into the energy of the Lionsgate energy, which is coming up on the 8th. And that Lionsgate energy is coming up. There is a lot of turbulence, a lot of like staticky interference. And I had a dream 2 nights ago. And in the dream, I could see I call them like my blue people. And Radiance is one of the queens, I call her, that speaks through me through in those dream states of when they take me into Sirius, they take me into those star planets and into those places of beyond the light. And she's like, can you see this blue? Can you see our blue? Can you see this blue? And then, but can you see this emerald? And can you see this emerald color? And this emerald color is trying to help us. This emerald color is trying to, it's trying to fuse this energy or soften this energy. But can you see the static? Can you see the static? And it was a lot of staticky energy. And I could see and feel the static. And I just knew that it was like trying to deter us or trying to get us to go back, trying to get us to look deeper into the past. But sometimes that's not to try to stop us from going forward. Sometimes that is saying we're missing something. We're missing something. And what are we missing? And I was reading through one of the chapters in one of my new books today, and the message was kind of really laid out. So the message was that sense of, 2,000 years ago, we were crucifying, over 2,000 years ago, we're crucifying somebody on a cross, or not us, but, humanity was. And we haven't really, and years later, of course, it's the witches. We haven't learned beyond that yet. And that society is still in different ways, and sometimes in the same kind of ways, still crucifying people. And we sometimes crucify ourselves by getting so caught up in our own personal hell. And it's like, we haven't evolved beyond the ability to be so willing and sit up on such a perch that it's okay to crucify somebody, to judge somebody to such a degree that you're willing to ruin their lives, that you're willing to destroy their lives or wish and see their lives destroyed because there's a difference of beliefs and opinions. And they say, that's a huge gap that we still haven't been able to fill that void. So we're in a void right now, and there's this void energy. And in that void energy is that we're being told, really, we have to really look at ourselves and look at what we're trying to bring through, what we're trying to bring through into our future, what we're still trying to bring through in programming our next generations and all of that. It's like, there is a benevolence that we haven't really grasped yet, and we haven't gotten fully as society, and kindness and compassion. And it cannot be an objective benevolence. Benevolence is benevolence. And in the virtues, you can't contaminate it. There's no contaminating. That's vices. We go to the vices because then it aligns to suit us. But we cannot be, us watering down benevolence, which is, ultimately the grace of kindness, moving and shifting that energy is not, and us making that aligned to our belief systems means that we have a lot of growth still to do. And so as radiance was present, as I could feel this radiant energy, was that there was an awareness of a glow, and I could see this glow. And if we want to glow and shine, we have a lot of cleaning up to do. And as a world, as a society, and I'm not speaking about climate change. I'm not speaking about those outer things that the world, has their agendas or makes money off of, or those things. I'm speaking of energy and how we affect the energy, and how we are a huge part of the change within our own selves that needs to take place. Because then we're not going to be, falsely accepting, how did I put this? Ego truths, or manipulative truths. And that we're going to start to be, we have to start to be more aware of that energy. I had to pause for a second. My phone was dinging. I had to check the tornadoes, tornado warnings. And so this change, and when I see it in this big spectrum and static, I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to bring it back into kind of I'm asking the energy, I'm asking the guides to give me this in simpler terms. And how do we bring this into ourselves and into our world? So the message and where they bring me with this is in the awareness of knowing what drags you down, what holds you down, what holds you back, what places you in the energy of fear, what takes you into that place of doubting yourself or seeking 6 or 7 opinions before you make a choice and choose. And that is the areas where you have to really look. There is some foggy, cloudy areas within yourself this month for you to look at early in the month, because there's a lot of really good opportunities in these times where it is an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for change. It's an opportunity for you to be able to step up and step into some of the things that you promised yourself that you would have done, maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, maybe previous to all the rest that lockdowns that's happening. And so there is just so many things that, once you look back, that you've probably said to yourself, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that a year down the road. I'll do that when I retire. That's one of the most famous things. I'll do that when I retire. So what you're being told is, what are you waiting for? If you clean up what's the static now, if you clean up what closes your doors, closes your mind off, closes your heart off, closes you off from, doing some of the things that you want to do, whether they're simple or big, and you just kind of put it totally on the back burner. And it doesn't mean it all has to happen right now. It's saying, to start planning for it, start getting excited about it, start shifting the world's energy from dense fear, insecurities into excitement, enthusiasm, joy, the thought of thriving, the thought of seeing a beautiful new world, the possibility, because we will be the shift that shifts the world's energy. And we just say, you know what? Give us something good. Tell us something good. We don't want to hear this. And you'll be turning off and turning down all of the negativity and all of the negative energy, because you'll be so caught up in wanting to find ways to get to that dream, that goal, that thing that you really wanted to do, that beautiful opportunity, that beautiful moment in your life. And you'll be seeking ways, whether it will be stepping into classes and teachings, or whether it is in making a business plan and seeking out ways to make business plans. And there's a lot of areas, there's a lot of help out there to do those things, seeking out grants, loans, whatever it may be. But there is something within us that's saying all of this that we talk about in the big way is what it really means when you bring it all in, is that you bring it into you, is that everything that exists in the world exists within you. So if you have that static, that interference that keeps interfering, what is that interference? And it's time to be able to kind of discover, how can I move beyond that interference? How can I go from here to, maybe to content, maybe to doing good, to doing great, to entering into the stage of living a life of thriving, living a life that I feel like I'm happy. I feel like I'm content, but still evolving. Like so many areas. How can I be that? And how do I get there? And because it's here, this month is bringing us this energy, and it's this month, and it trails on. This is not just this month. This continues on. So when we look deeper and we see this energy that's coming, I just see this like pull, pull, pull. So it's magnetic. So bringing in this month, and I'm going to flip back a little bit here, because they flip me from, more the lingo that's harder to the lingo that's more simpler. So to that of the Divine Mother and the Christ, the the divine mother, the divine father, the Christ-like energy, and bringing us into living from that sense of our heart. But if it's only a piece of our heart or part of our heart, we are denying ourselves the opportunity to live with a full, whole heart. And so what it's saying is this divine masculine Jesus or Mary, or however you want to put it, like this divine masculine, this divine feminine energy, is that there's a magnetic pull. So it feels sexual. It feels like a sexual energy. It feels like stepping into a new relationship. It feels like that enthusiastic energy of when you meet somebody and you're like, oh my God, like I just want to have that person. And this is a key. When you meet somebody and you have that, most times you should run, because that's what you need to find in you before you can see it in somebody else. The person that you keep, that's always a consistent in your life. I told a friend this today too. That's always consistent, always there, showing up, just wants to be your friend before anything else. That's the person. It's not the one that's, oh, our eyes met and it was instant. Most times that's not going to work. Trust me, I got like 6x common laws. It doesn't work that way. And so, and this energy, and what it's saying is that this is the only energy that's that magnetic. And that is the energy of coming into the sense of oneness within ourselves. If we want the world to be at peace, we got to start with us. And we got to be at peace with ourselves and where we've been. We got to be at peace with our neighbors. We got to make peace, and we got to make peace with our past and make peace with all that you felt you were denied in the past, or all the failures that you thought you had, or that you weren't brilliant enough, you weren't smart enough, or all of those things. And you just got to say, well, that was the past. And most of those times that was doors closing, things ending. But where we are right now, where am I right now? And from this place right now that I'm in right now, and living from that place, and accepting that place, and then letting that come together, is that you're letting that sense of that push pull and the passion of your heart, like, so that warrior energy, that logical, that needing that force that needs to go forward, meeting with passion and desire and softness and grace and all of those things, and letting it collide and letting it come together. And just like, it's like when you take your hands like this, and I'll say, can you feel the energy? Can you feel it? And most people go, no. And I say, well, bring your two hands together. Now rub your two hands. And when you rub your two hands, and this friction that happens, right? That's often a relationship that works. And there's this friction, this push-pull that's happening. And then all of a sudden stops and goes still and silent. You feel the heat. You feel the warmth. We've charged the energy. We've come back together. We've met in common ground. We meet in this place. We meet in a common area. Not saying that this side and that side has fully figured it out, or this side and that side has not become identical. They've not become alike, even of yourself, of your experiences, of how you show up. But you meet this common ground within yourself, that you can accept where you've been. And you can accept that everyone has a past. Everyone has a different opinion view. You'll argue with yourself for the rest of your life. And you'll always be in doubt and on the back burner, or in fear, or whatever it is. And you'll always be in that place. But is that the place? But is that the place? And that's what we're here. We're right here. We're right here where these two energies are trying to come together in a magnetic. And you have to bring positive and negative. You have to, like, when you bring things together and then it locks and it seals, and you try pulling that apart. When you have that sense of knowing, you try pulling that apart. A magnet can pull quadruple the weight once it comes together than if it was one single piece of a magnet and one single piece of magnet. But put the two together and have a chain locked in there, and then try to pull that out. It's not that easy, right? Like when it locks, like when you can lock. And so just being able to bring the sameness together. What do we have that's common? What's coming is that we let go of the positive, negative, and what brings us together is one common thread: love. And it's because we love the pot, we love the opportunity, or we love the possibility that the world be calmer. We love the possibility that we may be happier. We love the possibility. So if love is what comes together and it rides and it overrides expectations, we don't know what it looks like. All we know is that we got a strong force, a strong pull with a passion and desire to go forward. And that's where we are right now. And that's the energy we have. And that's what we're being told to really pay attention to in your own lives. And do this. What do I want? And then all of a sudden you feel inspired. And this really works. Hold your hands out. What is of my highest good? What do I really need? What do I really need? And then come together and let your hands just imagine, bringing in this light in your hands and just holding it and just, and then is it, what is this? It's something really that I really know is good. And you can start not having to see the picture, but a feeling of having it, a feeling of just being there with it and having it. And for the highest good, I don't mean ego. I mean, like, that's really going to give me contentment or joy in my life. And then let the hands come together and just feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it until the hands feel like they're going to stop. Right here. And prayer and this is also where prayer comes in, an intention. Prayer don't bring the change. Prayer brings the strength for the change. And the divine does work with us. And the divine does assist us. And the divine is here for us. But we have to become the divine within ourselves. We have to come into the oneness. And when we do, we become at peace. It's the calm after the storm. It's the moment of when the sun rises and the dew is still on the trees. And you can see that flicker of light, which is hope. This is hope restored. There's a possibility I could succeed. There's a possibility things could work out. There's a possibility, but my dreams were never crazy. There's a possibility. And there's a possibility that I can make these changes. I can be happy. I can be in healthy relationships. I just want to feel that. Be at peace with that. And so this month's message is saying, let's do the hard stuff right now. Let's do what needs to be done and not let the interference, not let the fact that there may be storms or there may be interference energy, or there may be the possibility that, there is a lot of negativity, or there may be a possibility that something else may be coming down the pipe that is not good for us. But that doesn't mean that it has to stop us. It means that we may have to get through the challenges. We can get through the challenges, but when do you stop saying no to you? When do you stop saying no to living in peace and having a more beautiful life, not being so angry, not having so much frustration flowing through you? When we get into the flow of love and light and beautiful and the possibility of beautiful things, it's all there this month. Even though there's a lot of turbulent energy, Jezebel and the imposter light always tries to come in and take the light back out, tries to suck the joy out. And imposter light will always try to distract you from going your way. And this is now the time to say, I'm not going to be distracted by that. I'm not going to let that get to me. I'm not going to look that way. And I'm not going to go there in my head. I'm not going to let my doubts, my fears, my insecurities. I'm going to know there's a way beyond those. And that way beyond those, I don't know. No clue. But I know there is a way. So that's why we seek out guidance. We seek out help. We seek out spiritual teachers and help that help us. We seek out whatever kind of help, whether it's, counseling, anything, business planning, anything that you need, you can seek that out to help in some way that you may be needing it. And so this month is just saying, do we stay back here, or do we start to see ourselves come together in ourselves, not fight ourselves, not create the bully, the enemy within, not to be crucifying ourselves or crucifying others with our words, with our thoughts, with our, because your thoughts and your words about somebody, it's the same thing as placing like dark energy on them, right? It's like you put an attachment to people. And if we stop doing that to people, we set people free. And when we set other people free, we set ourselves free. Remember that. So that's your message for this month. I know it's a little bit kind of one kind of message, but that's the way that it is going. That's the way that it is. And now I'm going to just give a couple cards to go with this. And we've avoided the storm the whole time we've been in here. And the sky looks blue, so I think it may be going around us. Okay. I spoke about this morning. It's interesting. I spoke about the cherry trees this morning in a message that I was giving out to my soul sister group in More Than Existing, and the love of a dear friend who I know is with me, with us all. So I have the King of Pentacles as the card that is coming out. And the King of Pentacles has the apple. And instantly, what came to my mind was the Adam and Eve story and entering into Eden. That was instant for me. And so, but the apple shows there is a seed. So even though we may have failed, we may have been tempted, we may have fallen into temptation, it doesn't mean we spend a lifetime punishing ourselves. So this King of Pentacles can be very practical, logical. It can also sometimes be judgmental. And so this apple is just saying, here's the seed. Do you want the seed? Come get the seed. But it's showing us there's a possibility. There is a way. And he's also wearing around his neck, all of these pieces of flowers. So he's wearing something of celebrating. He definitely knows how to, he knows how to be a king. He knows how to celebrate himself. He knows how to be himself. And that's the message they're giving me. So I'm listening to out here. But the apple is what's getting my attention in this crows. And it's telling me, here is the seed. I'm opening up and showing you there is the seed. There's a possibility. If you want this, if you want what I have, you have to put in the work. And so I got the 9 of Pentacles that came with it. So it's not quite the 10. We have the 9. Now, it was in reverse. So I could reverse it, or I can keep it this way, but it's the butterfly that catches my attention. And so we have the loyal dog. We have the crow who will do anything to get what it wants. It's constantly squawking. It's always looking for an opportunity for something shiny to get something. And then we have the butterfly. So the dog is grounded, rooted, and the dog is sitting with the lotus flowers. Now, as we come through any ending, not every ending is a bad ending. Some endings mean that we are rising into, and some endings are taking us in a rise. It's restoring us. It's bringing us into this place of knowing that we can reach for something higher, and we don't have to always be aggressive and pushy. We can know that we're divinely protected, and we can be the butterfly. We can be that transformation. And so the transformation that I'm seeing, the butterfly is what really is drawing my attention. And so the butterfly is, out of the cocoon, out of the cocoon. What if you're already out of the cocoon, right? What if you've already there? What if the ending is in stop believing the narratives of the doubts and the old stories? What if the ending is in saying, where are you looking to for your truth? Are you looking into the world that's still trying to get you to fear, or are you high enough above that you can see I am out. I am free. And so divine, you can never be captive. You can never be captured. You can never be held back when you know that you are divine, that you know that you are a child of the divine. Then when you know you're a child of the divine, you know that you are always free. They can hold your body, they can capture your body, they can do whatever they want, but they cannot hold, they cannot take your light. They can't take they can't take from you your light, no matter what. And one of the most powerful messages I ever heard about this was Corrie tenfold. And she popped up one day on YouTube. And this was a couple winters ago. And she became my biggest inspiration Corrie tenfold, boom, boom. I don't know where I just got that tenfold, tenfold. And so, she inspired me so much. And she made a statement about they could imprison her. They could take her, because she was a different belief to them or whatever that was. But something that was there was saying to her that, somebody else was imprisoning her just because of who she was, So in that, and being put in that place, put in that prison for a long time, she believed she was done for. She believed her life was over. She believed she was captured and trapped and that she was imprisoned, enslaved into that world. And she was in physical form. But she said they could never take her. She said one day she woke up and she just knew God had said to her, you cannot no one can take my heart. Nobody can take my mind. Nobody can take my spirit. Nobody can take my light. And she started to live free, even though everything around her was ugly, was hurtful, was painful, was horrific. And we can imagine sometimes that in our world, but that's possible, right? And so, but she knew in her heart that there was a greater call and a greater plan for her. And she kept walking that, and she kept doing. So she became of service to that light. And so she transformed. And even though the war hadn't ended, even though she was still in prison, even though she still couldn't get out of prison, the ending had happened because she no longer believed the narrative of the story. She no longer believed it. She was free from that. She was not there anymore. She was in there. So we can escape that physical entrapment, that material world. We can break free of that, and they can tell us whatever they want, but it doesn't mean that we have to believe it or live from that, and we don't have to stop growing. I started my biggest company before this one, the salon and spa, in a recession, and everybody's like, you're nuts, you're crazy, you're crazy. And myself and my mother had no money. Nobody would back us. No one would help us. And we had $15, and we went over to the bank and we asked to open up a bank account with $15. And then the banks treated women in business like they were garbage. Like, do you have a man to back you? Do you have a husband to back you? No, we have us. And we started with $15. And so there was that ending, and, and so we could have let doubt, we could let other judgments, criticism stop us, but we didn't. We grew it and grew it and grew it into a 3-story business, 3-story salon and spa with 17, 18 employees. And of course, and then it evolved again and changed, but we were in an ending when we were beginning again, when we were transforming, when we're rising, and all of what was for us, we couldn't see. All we knew that we were on the side of the dream of just being told we could go back, opportunity to get out. But we knew there was a feeling to keep going. And that's it. That's it. And that's what we're seeking. So that moving forward, you seek more of that and less of the other. And trust me, it's better to do things with others. Having a team works, but sometimes you do things on your own. But not on our own, with guides. We always got guides. And so then we have the 7. And so this is in reverse, which is also saying to us, you know, you're no longer the seven of swords. So you're no longer in your head, it feels like to me. There's some swords over here, there's some over here carrying some away. And so the seven of swords is just saying, you know what, you're in this break point right now. You know, it's the peak of the mountain. So it's like we're right at this point of where you overcome a lot of challenges. You've made it through a lot of hard times. You're right here. You get the opportunity now to go forward or to go back. Which way are you going to go from here? Because there's a little bit of the story here in the past. There's a little bit of story over here in the possibility of a future. And then there's all that is inspiring you right now, or all that's in your head, all that you're, you know, maybe you need to visit the magician. Maybe you need to visit the wise one. Maybe you need to just get it out and just, you know, not have more criticism, but to have someone just say, have you looked into this? Have you made sure of this? Have you crossed all the I's or crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's? Like, have you done all these little things? Maybe you may need that, but you don't need someone to be the absolute worst critic, and that includes yourself, to stop you from moving forward. So there is a move forward energy. And then at the bottom deck, we have a 3, which is bringing us into the 3 of Pentacles. And these 3 of Pentacles is a different color than these pentacles. Right? So this is major changes, which is where we are right now. And so this is masculine. I do feel like we have a strong masculine energy here that's saying, you know, I'm seeking and searching out my softness. So there is a soft energy over here in the butterfly, and how these animals are getting along, how they're supporting each other, how they're, you know, the crow can sit up on a dog and see higher and look above. What else is there for us? But nose can leave the material with the dog. You can trust the dog. So you're trusting, loyal, trusting yourself. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles. And the 3 is just saying, you know, it's like what we have happening here is that we have a collaboration that's happening. And it's like, but are we over here? There's one on the ground and one up here. Are we going to eat from the bottom, or do we climb up? So this one is eating off the ground because probably couldn't see that there was a way to get up here. The collaboration is not between the crows. It is the crow who found its way up to get the cherries that were still on the tree, so that it was fresher cherries, not having to eat what's on the ground. What are you worth finding your way up? Are you worth climbing up this mountain? Like, are you looking around? Are you looking for ways around, or are you just accepting some of the bottom things? Some of this, are you accepting the narratives, the stories? What are you accepting? What are you believing in? And so it's time to start changing the view, changing the perspective, turn down the noise, be silent, sit in silence, and just sit and just be with this and just feel the warmth, feel it when it comes together. You don't feel it so much when it's this. You don't feel it when it's this. You'll feel it when it's this. And when you know to feel it when it's this, when you do this and you know there's beautiful energy flowing through you. We know the power as healers. We know the power that flows through our hands, that we just put our hands up and I know this reaches the world. I know this goes out into places that I can't even imagine. And we're sending out this love, this healing, this beautiful message, this beautiful energy of love and light and Reiki, and that kind of healing is compassion in action. And that's the ultimate love. And that is the benevolence that returns us to the beginning of the message, which speaks about benevolence. Is that, you know, I've worked with people, on people, and helped people who at one point had a narrative of friction, a story where they made me to be their enemy. And then they came back and they knew. And it was a total change in energy, a change in story. Everything changed. And sometimes it means having a healthy conversation. Sometimes it means not believing what you hear out there and getting to a new story. Because everybody you'll meet, you'll have a different story with. So if you're meeting the version of who you are today instead of the version of you that may have not succeeded, failed in the past, you're talking to a new version of yourself. Meet the version you are and ask the version you are today what you need to do, feel, exist in, to be even greater in your tomorrows. Much love and have a beautiful month. And I will see you in the next video. There's more to come. Go to mteacademy.ca if you want to check out some of the great summer extravaganza courses that are now being offered out for 60% off the courses. So, and they're all pre-recorded. They're courses I previously taught live or previously recorded, and you can get in, you can take advantage of those and put them in your dashboard in the Academy and do them as you please. When you feel you're ready for them, you can gather them up and save them for the winter, whatever it may be. But there's a bunch that are 60% off in there. There is a couple courses coming up. I have my second level of my Diamond Effects course happening the end of August, and there is more to be announced. And my first and second book are available on Amazon. The first book is available in like a full soft copy or hardcover copy. The other book, the second book is, so the first book is More Than Existing, which is right here. And the second, yesterday was the second anniversary. So yay to the second anniversary of More Than Existing. And the second book is called My Truth of Existing Beyond the Reflection. And that book is available in Kindle version. In the next few weeks, you'll be able to order the soft cover copy. But if you want to read it now, you want to download it and still get the other copy, you can do that. And so you can get the downloadable copy on Amazon, all the Amazons, wherever you are located in the world, but you can get that downloadable copy on Amazon. So it's More Than Existing and My Truth of Existing Beyond the Reflection. I don't have a cover of the book. Just waiting for my copy to be in my hand before we release the soft cover copies. So much love. Have a beautiful month. Do what you need to do now. Don't be afraid to put the work in. Don't be afraid to ask for help, guidance, assistance, whatever it may be. And know that there is an opportunity for beautiful things. The only thing that really interferes with us is our ability to believe the narratives of the stories that are not in alignment to our truths. Much love. Bye-bye.